If we have if in our language, then what should type checking look like for that? Remember that this was the kind of example where we got into trouble trying to figure out exactly what the test position would produce. All we need it to produce, though, is a Boolean, and so type checking that expression and making sure that it has type Boolean should ensure that. And then for the then and else branches, we can type check those. And we should imagine that we don't know which of the then or the else is going to be taken, even if the test position turns out to be very simple like true, but in general it's more complicated. As long as those two things are the same, then we know it doesn't matter which branch we take. Overall, the if is going to be classified the same as its two branches. So in this case, the overall type of the if expression can be int. In this case, this next example, if 1 plus 2, that expression 1 plus 2 has type int. Doesn't really matter what the then and else types are, because we're going to reject the if overall, since we won't get a Boolean back. Or if we do get a Boolean back, but the then and else cases have different types, then overall we don't give a type for the if. Even if the test is something simple like false, for consistency and generality, it turns out that the best choice is to not look at individual values of the expressions, not try to do any sort of further approximation to interpretation, but just look at the two result types and reject the if those are not the same. We can phrase that in terms of our type rules like this. If we have an if expression with 3 sub-expressions, we can type check each of those 3 sub-expressions. The first one needs to have type Boolean. The other two can have any type, but using type 0 in both of these places, the intent is that we match only if both the expr2 and expr3 there have the same type. And if they do have the same type, that is the type we use for the if overall. So again, if we've got if true 1, 2, we can match this rule by checking that true has type Boolean, 1 has type int, and 2 has type int, and int is the same in both of those, so we can use int as the result type. But if we get not Boolean for the test position, or if we get different types for the then and else branches, then we don't have a type for those if expressions.